The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
A story, a friend of mine told me, Nachum Shapiro told me this story. He says that the Lubavitcher Rebbe was one time, he went to, I think it was one or the only time, I don't know, but he went to visit Parksville. It's a place in upstate New York, and they have a camp there. So the story goes that he went to visit the camp, and one of the people, he was a little bit of a jokester, so he wanted to make fun of that the camp was in a very dilapidated state. So what he did was, he put up in big letters inside the bunkhouse, thinking that the Rebbe would not go in. He put inside the bunkhouse, Zecher l'Churban. This whole bunkhouse is Zecher l'Churban. It's such bad state. Okay. To the horror of this bachur, the Rebbe looked outside. He goes, okay, I'd like to go inside. He opens up the door and he sees in big letters plastered all over, Zecher l'Churban. Immediately the Rebbe turned around, says, who wrote that? Crickets in the background. Who wrote that? So one boy is like, me. Says, it's not Zecher l'Churban, it's Zecher l'Mikdash. Amazing how you say something to somebody and you just spin it a little differently, bring the person up. The person was ready for who knows what. Zecher l'Mikdash. Positive. Rav Shach was one time in a cab with his student, and the cab driver that they called, unbeknownst to them, they called it from, it seemed like the company that everyone used, and they had to get from, I think, from Bnei Brak to Yerushalayim. So when they're in the cab driver did not have a kippah. So the student, wanting to show that you're with the Rosh Shiva in the back, and how dare you not have Kabbalah Teda, and not have the proper outlook on who you have, and you don't have the kavod to wear a kippah. He says, and how long have you been Mechalel Shabbat for? Rav Shach turned to him and gave him a hit. He says, that's how we talk to another Jew? How Mechalel Shabbat? How dare you talk like that? Ask Mechila right now. How can you say that to him? What are you saying that? You embarrassed him. And the driver, the Nahag said, no, Kvod Harav, no. He says, no, he's wrong. Please, ask Mechila right now. Mochel, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. He says, okay, I'm Mochel. A week later, Rav Shach got a knock on his door. Who is it? This Nahag, this driver, with a kippah on his head. He says, Rosh Shiva, I want to tell you something. He says, unfortunately, I've never kept Shabbat. But the fact that you said that to that person, that's not how we talk to people. You look at the kavod of every single person. I said, there's got to be something more to Charedim. That was the kavod that you gave to me. The outlook that you had towards me, that even though I wasn't Shomer Shabbat yet. So you should know, Rosh Shiva, I've been mekabel to keep Shabbat in your zechut because of that. Because you had that outlook of what you saw me. Every one of us is capable of doing that.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org